Hello, greetings, and welcome everyone to the Money Flow Stock Market Review and Forecast. I'm your host, Dr. BJ Love, and I'll be bringing you today's update for October 1st, 2025. The S&P 500 clears 6,700. The Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500 made new record highs today. Shares of Intel jumped 7.24% on a report that the company is in early stage talks with Advanced Micro Devices to become a customer. The market sectors were mixed. The Dow Jones Industrial Average kicked off the fourth quarter with a gain of 43 points, closing at 46,441, while the S&P 500 tacked on 23 points, finishing at 6,711. The NASDAQ added 95 points and settled at 22,755. Breadth, the heartbeat of the market, was positive. The VIX, aka the fear gauge, added 0.01 points and closed at 16.29. And as we reiterate each time on this broadcast, as long as that VIX remains below that threshold of 20, the market tends to grind higher. And that is what we have been witnessing ever since it dropped below that threshold of 20. Crude oil prices eased 40 cents and closed at $61.97 a barrel. Gold prices jumped $23.30, a new high, and finished at $3,896.20 an ounce. Man, gold and silver have been on fire. Boom, boom. Yes, they have. They've been on fire. All right, better leave that alone right now. Let's go on back to the program here. Silver prices rose 38 cents and closed at $46.93 an ounce. Bitcoin closed the session at 117,415, higher than the previous day. Wow. So let's go ahead and continue with our chart reading here so we can see really what's happening. So as you can clearly see, the markets tend to grind higher and higher. Gold and silver, precious metals, seems to just be unstoppable. They go up every day, up, 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 up. So we'll see how far it goes. So now let's move over to our foregrid, which is our weekly status on the chart, and it lets us know if we are in a bullish posture or in a bearish posture. So we're going to start out with the S&P 500 here. We want to maximize this chart, and as you can see, we've been having a green background, which signifies a bullish posture. We've been that way since May of this year, and each one of these price bars here reflects a week's worth of price action in the S&P 500, hitting a high of $6,718.48, and we are still above this rising moving average as we have as our foundation here at the Money Flow Stock Market Review and Forecast. We use time-tested methods and indicators that helps us to navigate these markets with confidence, calmness, and clarity. And we have been calm and clear and confident on the trajectory of the S&P 500 as it continues to go up and up and up as we have the green background. And we do also have our confirming indicator here, the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence, that assures us that there is more upside to come in this market. We mentioned that last week, that as the rally still may have more upside to go, and that is exactly what we're seeing right now. So it is indicative of these time-tested methods and indicators work for us, and it keeps us in the market in an uptrend. And then when we get the signal, a definite signal, especially on the long-term chart, that a downturn is imminent, it gets us out of the market, usually at the top, and with a lot of profit. So remember, long-term trends, long-term charts dominate. Short-term charts fluctuate. So we stick with our long term and we just use our short term as a trigger sometimes. Okay, going on now to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We have the same green background. Price bars are above rising moving average, confirming indicator, giving us assurance that this is still in a in a bullish posture, and it is projecting more upside to come. Moving on now to the NASDAQ composite, same configuration, same scenario, have a green background showing that the market posture or the posture of this particular indice is bullish. We have that green background, price above rising moving averages, confirming indicators, MACD, moving average convergence divergence, giving us a high probability of more upside to come. Moving on now to the Russell 2000, it's a little bit more volatile, but there it is, that theme, prices above rising moving averages, and we have our confirming uh, indicator, the MACD, letting us know that even though we see a top here, and it looks like it's moving a little bit sideways here for the past 2 weeks, our indicators are letting us know that more upside is highly probable at this particular time. So we're going to go ahead and look at those indices or those commodities that we mentioned in our introduction. Okay, and we're going to switch charts here. This is our 4-grid weekly chart that we use to determine the dominant trend of the market. So now we're going to look at the gold and the silver and the we're going to start off with the VIX, which is the fear gauge. He nudged up, nudged up a little bit today, but there's really no threat. If we look at the long-term chart here, he's still below a falling moving average. You say, BJ Love, how do you know that the average is falling? Because we have a proprietary setup that lets us know when the moving average is falling. It's color coded. It is red. When it's going sideways, it turned yellow. So for about 2 weeks, it turned yellow, but now it's red again, and the price is below that falling moving average. So there it is for the VIX. We're now going to look at oil, which did tick up a little bit today, but it also, this is our weekly chart, it is below falling moving average, as we forestated. Our color-coded proprietary software lets us know when the moving average is falling, and that is our line in the sand. And he is below that falling moving average, and he is continuing to fall. So that's what you've been noticing ever since August of this year, when the uh, candles or the price bars of oil on a weekly basis have turned red, and then it's below a red moving average. It's been going down, down, down. It looks like it's been going a little bit sideways here lately, but as long as that price is below that falling moving average, you don't expect any sustained upward prices until that trend changes. Now, moving on from oil, we're going to look at gold. Wow. And what a ride this has been. Where is my /GC? Come on up here. There we go. And this is the weekly chart. It's just the opposite of oil. And it has been just moving up, 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 starting at around January of this year, and just been like a locomotive, stalling, for a few weeks here at a time, moving sideways. However, again, restating and reiterating the fact, this time-tested indicator that helps us to navigate these markets with confident calmness and clarity. What? The price is above rising moving average. Here's our moving average, and this is our both moving averages. it has just been above those and hitting that new high at $33,922.70. And here's our confirming indicators here, the MACD on our on our what we call our 3 grid, or our we have a 4 grid, and now this is our 3 grid, but gold and the stocks that are affected by gold just continue to go up, up, up as well. One that we have the privilege of being invested in is KGC, and we're going to give this away for free. Oh, that's right. KGC, we're giving it away for free. It began its rise here at around the $9 range back in February, and we have been invested in it, and it has $9 all the way up to $25. That is all over, 200% on your money in less than a year. That was month 2. We are now in month 10, so we're talking about 8 months. Excuse me, doubling your money. All of our supporting indicators like the MACD is still showing that there is a continuing high probability of KGC continuing to move up, up, up. It just seems unstoppable. We know at some point it's going to end, but it hasn't as of yet. Okay, moving on now to silver. Kind of like the same thing. It was a little bit behind gold. Gold started its run up in around January. Silver started its run up here at around May, and starting at the $33 range, it has now reached a height, topping out at 47. Might as well say $48. Silver is on fire. How do we play silver? We usually do it through the ETF, the Exchange Traded Fund, which is SLV, and you can see a similar pattern there. And we got in at around $30, something like that, and it is going all the way up to 43. So, wow. And then some of the silver stocks, I'm going to give a couple of our premiums. We gave you KGC. We're going to look at USAS. I usually charge, a premium fee for this kind of information. This stock started off at $1.50 and has gone all the way up to $4, $3.95. So you're talking about a doubling, more than 200% return on your money on what is considered a penny stock. But it is very, very high quality stock, just like KGC. But it's a little bit high right now. I will wait for a pullback and let it give you a signal to enter this stock at in around the $3 range. But nice that we entered at the $1.50 range, and we're now sitting pretty on $3.83. So that's silver. We're going to look at Bitcoin, and this is going to be our last look-see / BTC. And Bitcoin has been just moving, I would say, in an accumulation phase or consolidation phase. But today, on the short term, it really popped off. If we look at the daily chart here, you can see where, our proprietary Thinkorswim program gives us an arrow that signals that this is a good entry point, and that was at the 113 level. It is now closing at that 119 level, and the stock or the ETF that we like is BITF, and this started out at this is Bitcoin now, started off at $1.45, got all the way up to 360, and has been pulling back and consolidating like Bitcoin. So the market posture is positive. Gold and silver is on fire. Bitcoin is bouncing back. So there you have it, every day and every week. We we get better and better every day and every way we grow, more prosperous, successful, and victorious. And God loves, continues to surround us and fold us and enwrap